Okay, good morning, everybody. Please let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Lisa. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Because, you know, I'm still fine-tuning the settings on my computer. Oh, yay, you can. Yay! I don't have to write a note. Can you hear me? Because you can't hear me. Woohoo. Of course, my display, I can see the chat. I can't see what's going on in the display because mine is just, I have the wheel of death. Hang on. This is why we started a few minutes early. I always anticipate something going wrong. Oh, yay, there I am. So you can hear me all right. The picture looks good. Yay! 2 thumbs up. Okay, so before we get started, while we're looking at this beautiful image of my book that I wrote, we're gonna do our general reminders. Why did it stop? Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna have to go out and back in again like all the time. This was what happened last time too. I don't know why that is. Okay, we are going to start by going to, if you're on a tablet or a smartphone, click on your picture and the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and then the little gear that says quality, and click on the highest one that it'll let you, and that will give you the best picture possible. Okay, and then anytime we're working with art supplies, right, we're going to try to remember to put on some kind of barrier cream. And whatever one you have is fine. I happen to have Winsor Newton's Art Guard, but if you have Invisible Glove or another one, whatever you have is fine. So we're going to put some of that on. Before we get started. All right, so those of you who don't know, I wrote a book. It's for sale in my Etsy shop. The link should be in the description below. It is a journaling workbook. It's about, you know, how to have a more creative, self-expressive life and how to work that into your life, how to be happy with what you do, how to find inspiration in the world around you. It's not a book where you're going to find a prompt, draw a flower. It's not that kind of book. If you're analytical, you're probably not going to get the book. My husband and daughter are both very analytical. They kind of like it, but they don't quite get it. It's full of different kind of prompts from me, like thinking prompts, like what can you do to let go of stress, the stress of what you can't control. It's that kind of a book. It's filled with all the artwork is from me. Some of it's black and white, so you can color it in. Hi, Miko. Some of it is just backgrounds that you can add on to. You can use it to create little mini vision boards, something like that. Hey, Eve. Anyway, I have a few copies left of the first batch of printing, and I just ordered a new batch today, so they'll be in a couple of days. That might have something to do with the speakers. I might need to turn the Bluetooth speaker off. Let me try that in a minute. So anyway, another batch is coming in a couple of days. If you want a copy of the book, they're available at my Etsy shop. So while you're looking at the book cover, hang on. Jeez, I'm back. Disconnected. Ready to pair. Okay, how is that? Is the echo gone? Can you still hear me? Oh, you can't see that. So I turned off the Bluetooth speaker. So how is that? Is that better at all? This is why we came on a few minutes early, because I knew there was going to be something we were going to have to work on the sound about. Okay, how about this? Can you hear me now? It's the same? We might have to just live with it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds the same. I don't know. I have no idea. The picture's good, but the sound sucks. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. Oh, wait, I think I figured it out. Hold on. Is that better? How's that sound? This is why we are here. Yes, I figured it out. So I didn't have the microphone for the webcam turned on, which is a different setting than the webcam app, because why would it be in the webcam app? I told you this is why we came on a few minutes early. So okay, so you know, evidently, according to some people who commented recently on Facebook, I chat too much, so I babble. So that's all right. So I don't think talking is going to be a problem. So yay, at least we figured it out. So if you have a Mac and you're doing this with a Mac and you're using a webcam to broadcast, go into the sound settings for the Mac and make sure you're using the microphone in your webcam and not the microphone on your desktop. I didn't have that turned on. So yay, we figured it out. Learned something new. Woohoo. Hey Petka, how are you? Eve, Wendy, Lisa, Miko, everybody, hello, good morning. So we got on a few minutes early to work out some of these bugs. Don't forget to change your settings in your display screen so you get the best resolution possible this morning. Hey, Aunt Bex Creations. Don't forget to use your invisible glove or art guard if you're going to paint along with me, which I did already. This is my book. If you haven't heard about it yet or bought a copy, it's available on Etsy. The link is in the description below. We're not going to go into it anymore because I already did that while we were talking about the sound. And it's just full of goodness. The first initial batch that went out as editorial copies and pre-orders should be hitting their new homes this week. So hopefully some reviews will come in this week, and hopefully they'll be good reviews. So, and we'll see. So anyway, that's that. I also have stickers, and they're big, large vinyl label type stickers of some of the watercolor feathers and other paintings I've done that are going to be great too. Those are in Etsy also. So this morning I found this canvas in my stash of old canvases that was done in 2008. This is a really old one. This round canvas. I'm going to have to make sure that I know. I'm going to need to put a piece of tape there. I'll tell you why I need to put a piece of tape there in a minute, although some of you might guess. I'm just going to stick a piece of masking tape back here, and I'm going to wrap it around the little sawtooth hanger thing, because I want to make sure what I paint here, it's not necessarily going to be an abstract, so I want to make sure I don't paint it upside down. That would be bad. So now I know which end is supposed to be up. But it is a round canvas. I thought it would be interesting. I was thinking to do sort of kind of an abstract still life kind of a thing on here, a little bit abstracted, but something that you could kind of tell that it was, you know, some kind of piece of fruit or something. But this is a really old canvas that I had when back in the craft shop days. It never sold. I really liked the shape of it, and I like the. I still like the saying, "Be strong, be calm, be strong, be grateful." I still like that. I printed out some photos on Paint My Photo this morning, and as you can see, like I was having, among other things, I was having issues with the printer this morning. I guess it couldn't decide what type of paper to use. I don't know. I'm really attracted to this one. I like the image of the fruit on the windowsill, but I also like the really strong shadows and contrast between the light and the shadows in this picture. So I think we're going to go for this one. So I'm going to stand it up here by the iPad. I'm going to put these all to the side. And we need something to put paint on. Ugh, my plate. Just arranging my table a little bit. Here we go. So that we can see everything. All right, I've got some crazy unusual tools. I do want to keep this a little bit abstracted, so at least a little bit, if not more than a little bit. So I really want to use tools that don't allow me a whole bunch of control. I, like a lot of you, I'm sure, start to paint something and really get crazy obsessed with trying to make it perfect and make it look like the picture. And like, it's something I struggle with less than I used to, but I still struggle with that. And I don't want to do that. I really want this to be free. And so I got, like a large paintbrush, some scrapey tools, a palette knife. I do have a couple of smaller brushes, but I may even use those with my left hand. I'm so glad we figured out the sound. Okay, so we are going to start with, of course, the background, because that's what I usually start with. I'm going to start with, and I have, DecoArt sent me more paint, and so now my paint is in a couple of different places. Okay, so we're going to start with whitewash, and we're going to start with, I've got some zinc, which is a gray, and where's my Paynes gray? Paynes gray, and maybe a little bit of whispering turquoise, because I can't resist whispering turquoise. I just can't resist. Who can resist whispering turquoise? Okay. That just sounds so attractive. I hope you guys can't hear that plopping, pooping noises the white paint is making. Holy cow. That you can probably hear clear as day, right? Why did my screen freeze again? Yeah, paint splat. All right, and then we're going to take out, some of these are brand new, so I have to open them. If you have problems with your broadcast freezing, which happens even to me sometimes while I'm broadcasting because I'm watching myself on the iPad, then you just need to like go out and come back in really quick. I'll try not to do anything too fast. Hey, Paula. going to put out our different colors we're going to use. Oh, I should have shooken that one up. Shaken? Separated a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. So let's start. We're going to start with a big like gift card. This is actually from when my husband and I went to the Habit Grill, and I asked the girl, "Can I just have a blank gift card with no money on it?" She said, "Oh, sure." You know, and my husband doesn't say anything anymore because he's fairly used to me asking questions like that anymore. So he doesn't say anything. So I'm looking at the inspiration photo and I'm looking at the windowsill. And I'm just sort of mimicking the lines that I see on the windowsill. And again, I haven't planned this more than printing out the pictures. So for all I know, this is going to turn out looking like poop. I don't know. So we'll find out. You know, it's an experiment. I want you guys to not be afraid to just, you know, try new things. And let's see. Grab some of this light blue. Reuse supports, Eve? I'm not sure. You mean the old canvases? You know, I've got them. They never sold. And so they might as well become something new. So maybe they can sell. This is a round canvas. You can get canvases in shapes. They don't all just come in, you know, rectangles and squares. Usually, though, you have to go to an art supply store to get the shaped canvases. Normally, they're usually some kind of like a special order. Your craft stores don't generally have the shaped ones. I'm working on the background right now. Like always, I'm always telling you guys, work on the background first. And then, you know, you get that to where you like it, and then you can put the foreground in, and you don't have to worry about going back later and touching up something in the background unless you've gotten a blob of paint somewhere where you didn't want it. That happens to the best of us. Oh, see, look at that. That's all right. We'll work it in. I love a shaped canvas. Just be aware they're generally really expensive. But I love them. I absolutely love them. Now, I want to really, like I said when I started, I want to do kind of an abstracted still life on here. And that means I don't want to get too precious with the details. I really just want the flavor or feeling of the still life. And in this case, it's a pear and an orange on a windowsill. It's got really strong lighting. Now, it's from Paint My Photo. That's a really great website for inspiration photos. And this is DecoArt Amercana's craft paint. I love their craft paints. I think they're fabulous. When I first started my journey in mixed media, it was with craft paint, these craft paints, Amercana. And I think they're just wonderful. And they're inexpensive, very budget friendly. You know, you can, you don't have to like break the bank. I also love their fluorescent paints. Now, as per usual, I'm not necessarily looking to copy the picture exactly, and or I'm not looking to cover up the background completely. We'll just see what happens. Hi, Heather, how are you? Those of you who won the DIY watercolor palettes, I haven't sent them out yet. Today is a holiday here in the States. It's Columbus Day, and there's no mail service, so. You should, when you're trying to do something like this, you should really use tools that don't allow you a lot of control. If you're like me and you have trouble giving up control, hey, Crafty Degrassi, hey, then you want to use tools that don't allow you a lot of control, because otherwise you'll just, if you're like me, you're just going to get stuck in, you know, it should be this way or it should be that way. No, this is actually a round canvas, Heather. This is actually a stretched canvas. It's a round one. This is an old one that I'm painting over that I had in my stash way back from my craft store days. It never sold. So we're painting over it today. Let's see, I want to add maybe some brown to this. I have burnt umber. I have one that's open. Let's use the open one. Instead of, he sent me a bunch of colors I had already. Hey, April. And also don't, you know, throw away any leftover paint on here if it's not dried up. You know, spread it on, you know, an art journal page, or, you know, something like that. Oh, thanks, Paula. I am really just looking at where the colors are in the inspiration photo, where the different colors are, and putting that color there. I'm just making a mark. I'm really not doing more than that, because, you know, again, I want it to be abstracted. I don't want it to be perfect by any stretch. And because the canvas is round and, you know, a little bigger than inspiration photo, you have to, of course, extrapolate a little bit and make up some of the background. But yeah, I have to tell you, I love this. Is already suggesting to me a windowsill, and I love that. And you know, this is water. I mean, not watercolor. Hello. You know, I started to get ready for Watercolor Wednesday this morning. It's not Wednesday. Holy moly. This is acrylic paint. So, you know, you can just, if you get something in the wrong place, you can just let it dry and go over it with another color. You can, you can wipe it off with a baby wipe if the background's dry. You know what? I used to do that too, April. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, once you start doing lots of mixed media, you're probably going to want to just take the leftover paint, instead of fussing with it, trying to get it back into the jar, especially if you get things contaminated like I normally do, then just use it to start another background or an art journal page or something like that. Just save yourself the headache. When I tell you guys not to do something, it's probably because I've already done it wrong. I'm not lecturing you. I'm just hopefully having you learn from my mistakes. Now, I am going to dry this a little bit. But I have to tell you guys, what is this, like 5 minutes in? And I love the background. Who doesn't love the background here? While I'm drying this, I'm going to get out some other colors. Okay, I don't think that's completely dry, but I think it's drier. It's not, at least not sopping wet. So when you're using a heat tool, any kind of heat tool on acrylic paint, you want to be really mindful of, and I've seen a few artists say this on YouTube recently, and they're not wrong, they're right. You want to be really mindful of not getting the paint too hot too quickly, really moving your heat tool around and having it kind of far away, because think of your acrylic paint as basically plastic, and if you get it too hot too quickly, it's going to start bubbling, and that may not be what you want. So just be kind of mindful of that. All right, so I'm going to put in a few details into the background, I think. Well, suggestions of details. We're not going to get too detailed. You guys got to remind me I said that. And I love paintings that I really basically use no brush on, and that I just use only, you know, like scrapey tools and fingers. It really makes me, you know, really be really free with my marks and suggestive about the marks. I love that. Hey Sharon, how are you? And yeah, Bobbles, you get little bubbly bits. Sometimes, you know, you want the bubbly bits in the paint. Like if you're doing something really textured and maybe you're gonna, you know, do an ATC card or something like that. That's too bright white. Let's put some blue on that. Maybe you're going to do some texture. You want some texture in the paint, so then you want to get it hot and have it bubble. I would definitely experiment so that you know what to expect. And don't be afraid to, you know, take paint away or, you know, blend it with your baby wipe, or they're just another painting tool as far as I'm concerned. And make sure on this one, because we are trying to be abstract, but we're trying to, you know, suggest a shape. That means that we want to keep our little piece of tape up here. That's the top of the canvas. Since the canvas is round, I want to try to. That works better. So there's some lines in the, because this is a window, and the window's showing another building, and there's some lines. I just don't want them to be bright white. I don't mind if they suggest the architecture, but I don't want it to be bright white. You hear my computer going off in the background, because I don't know how to turn that off. So we're going to have to just deal with the ding, because I don't know how to turn that off. I'm not going to fuss with it right now. I'm sure I could figure it out, but we're not going to fuss with it right now. It's not that important. We can deal with it, right? Oh, thanks, Paula. Yeah, you know, as usual, the recording will be on YouTube later. So yes, I can show the reference picture. Muted. Yeah, let me hang on. So here's the reference photo. It's from Paint My Photo. So if you type in still life, you're going to get a lot of reference photos. This was like on page 4 or something. Yeah, hold on. We gotta, hold on. Okay, I think I got it now. It's, yeah, ding. You know, it's morning and my, you know, my computer's gonna just ding. It's either people asking questions from Etsy about the book, or it's admins needing help with something from myself or other admins. And normally my computers ding a lot every morning, so it's not unusual. I just usually turn it off, but you know, we've got the new computer, so I don't necessarily know. I'm loving the abstracted suggestion of this background, and I'm going to stop fussing with it. There's little bits of the old canvas showing through, but I'm loving that, so we're going to leave it alone. We are going to start working on our fruit now. I'm going to put out, I'm going to save all the paint colors. I'm going to leave them out, and when the broadcast is done, I'll go in and I'll edit the description with the colors that I've used for you guys in case you want to know. This is primary yellow, which in my opinion is kind of an orangey color. Needs to be shaken up. And then we have lemon yellow. Bright orange, which is closed. Some scissors. I'm going to throw in a little bit of pink. This is melon. Just because I think it might give the canvas something interesting. The inspiration photo should be your inspiration. We're not looking to copy it, especially if you're doing kind of an abstracted still life. You're definitely not looking to copy the photo. You're just looking to get the feeling of the photo. And this is Georgia clay, which is kind of a reddish orangey color. All right, we're going to put out some more of the burnt umber. And we're going to try to get some more white out of this bottle. There we go with the pooping noises again. Because, you know, holy moly. All right. So we are going to go, I think I want to go with the palette knife. I'm going to grab a couple of my favorite tools. I like this one. I think it's a clay tool. All right, so we're going to start with the pear, which is farther back from the orange. It's farther in the back. I'm going to start with mixing some of the yellow into some white. And you know, when you're doing this kind of canvas, your color is probably not going to be exactly right the first shot out of the gate. This is not exactly the right color, but I can make it work. I'm okay with it. I'm going to add some of the little bit darker color into it. And, you know, I want to keep it kind of pear-shaped, but, you know, I'm not looking to necessarily fill the whole thing in. I'm not looking to do more than really to suggest the shape. I am looking at the shadows and light on the inspiration photo and where the colors in the pear are getting darker. And, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, mix up your marks. Start with the palette knife and get your fingers in there and add some of this red in. Oh, thanks, April. And I'm wiping my fingers on my canvas drop cloth because at some point that's going to be good and nicely marked up, and we'll use that for a journal cover or something, or some more spirit dolls or something like that. I do think a little bit of green mixed into this might be interesting. So let's take this yellowy white mixture that we have here. Let's just toss a little bit of turquoise into it, and it's gonna, I got some red on there, that's all right. We'll make it work. Anybody else a Project Runway fan? As a former seamstress and dressmaker, I find that show fascinating. This is DecoArt Amercana Craft Paint. This is not fancy paint. This is just Amercana craft paint. They do have a Traditions Artist acrylic, and they also have a fluid acrylic. But these craft paints are on the, they're not heavy body. They are on the more fluid side of things. I'm mixing my two yellows together. I'm loving the way the pear looks. I don't know about you guys. So we're gonna work on the stem now. So I'm gonna take some of my brown on my scrapey tool. And I'm going to, oh, thanks for the hearts. I'm going to put a little bit of the yellow on the stem where the sun is hitting it in the inspiration photo. I like that. So we're gonna let that sit. I am going to do something about the shadow right here. It's not quite right. So let's go in with just our fingers. The shadow touches the pear in the inspiration photo. So let's make it do that. Need a new baby wipe. One thing about doing these live broadcasts is it's really nice because I get an interesting view of the painting as it's going on by looking at it on the iPad. And I don't know about you guys, but when I paint, I frequently find that stopping and taking a picture of it and looking at it through a different lens, so to speak, really helps me get some perspective on what's going on with the painting. And I really like doing that. So something about doing the live broadcast is that I automatically get that. So you have a favorite paint and or type of paint, like watercolor? Watercolor. I like acrylic paint, and it is one of my favorites. But if you made me pick one on my way out of the house, it would be my watercolor. And we just had, I'm going to mix some of the brown and some of the yellows together to get a dark shadow color for over here on the pear. We just did the perfect palette challenge thing here on YouTube, me and a bunch of other people. And that was actually one of the questions, you know, if the house was on fire, what would you grab? Watercolor paint. I'm gonna, let's see, I'll just grab all this brown. I have more brown. Why am I thinking about it? I have plenty of brown. see, I do think I need to. I just want to be careful about doing too many perfect marks with this paintbrush because that's not what we're after. Don't call yourself boring. I saw that. I'm going to mix some of the gray into this too. I'm going to just use what I have to create a dark color. See, it's getting too precious over here. So we're back to the palette painting with the palette knife. So I'm just literally looking at the inspiration photo and just marking out the dark paint in the shadows of the inspiration photo, where it is in the shadows of the photo. And you know, that doesn't mean you don't like other art supplies. It just means that that's your favorite thing, and that, you know, when you're stuck for inspiration or something, you're going to just probably go to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Got too many wet things here on my table. All right, so now the only problem is the orange touches the pear. So before we do anything else, we have to dry some of the pear so it doesn't get all schmeary. Can you tell I'm married to a New Yorker? Schmeary. Oh wait, I'm noticing something. So try to have it be, you know, exactly the way you want it before you do the, you know, any drawing. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is all about layers and marks, right? So if it's a little off, you can just go back and add some more paint. Oh, you know what I'm missing? I know what I'm missing. Ha. Some of the pink. Okay, now we're going to dry it. Thanks, Lisa. All righty. It's a circular canvas. Isn't it cool? I have an oval around here somewhere too, but I painted a painting on it that my cousin, who I'm very close to, she's like my big sister, but anyway, she loves that painting. She's made me promise I'll never paint over it. And because I always tell people, I get asked a lot, how do you know when your canvas is done? And I tell them the truth, when it goes to its forever home, because if it's at my house, there's always the chance, if I haven't sealed the painting with a clear coat, there's always the chance I'm going to paint over it at some point. So yeah, she made me promise on that one though I wouldn't paint over it. All right, so let's do the little orange. Let's mix some of our orange into some of our yellow and have that be kind of our highlight color. Let's see. Here. I think actually I want to use my fingers. I like fingers. I almost did the whole painting with a palette knife. Corey, I see that. I'm not using many paintbrushes because I want it to be very kind of abstracted and suggestive. I don't want it to be perfect. So I have used a palette knife for a good portion of the painting. The inspiration photo, again, is from Paint My Photo. Here it is right here. I loved the yeah, and finger too. I have the one brush. I used it once a little bit, but yeah, not too much. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I know. So I loved this particular still life picture because of the strong lighting. I really was attracted to the strong lighting. Now, if, as you do a canvas like this, as you, add your different layers to your canvas, if you make sure the previous one is dry, then as you're doing it, if you make a mistake, if the previous layer is dry, you can get in here with a baby wipe and you can just wipe the paint away without disturbing your background. Here's the inspiration photo. Thanks, Corey. Move it right. Oh, sorry. You know what? How about if we do this? Because, I'm painting while I'm holding the photo, so I'm not paying any attention. There we go. That might work. I'm going to just wait. Oh, hey, Heidi. There we go. So that's the inspiration photo. It's from Paint My Photo. If you're wondering, anybody who didn't hear me say that before because you're late joining or whatever, it's from Paint My Photo. And I love the strong lighting in this picture. I'm really attracted to the strong lighting. I've painted most of it with my palette knife and my scrapey tool. Let's see. I'm going to get some more of this light yellow out. I will give you the list of color names. Like I said earlier, after the broadcast is over, I will put the color names in the description box that I've used. These are all Amercana craft paints. I haven't used any proper art paints. If somebody asked me earlier, you know, what my favorite paint medium was, and I said watercolor, and that's true. If you ask me what my favorite acrylic paint brands were, probably, to be in all honesty, my two favorites would be Amercana, which is not an artist paint, but I like their paint, and also probably Amsterdam, which is probably not either two that you kind of expected me to say. I don't probably think. This is a scrapey tool. This is by the company Art C, the word art and the letter C, and it's some kind of scrapey tool. Somebody sent it to me in Happy Mail. So, and they, I think, bought it at Tuesday morning. I haven't seen another one, so I don't know where you could get one. I'm gonna, you know, I can't do a painting without neon on it, right? So this is the neon yellow. And I'm gonna mix it with the neon orange. I don't want a ton of this. I just want a little bit. Lost track of where I put my photo. Guys, I lost track. But this neon color is going to give the painting a pop and really make it look like the light's really hitting it. You want to remember when you use an all. Oh, thanks, Heidi. So folk arts are nice paints too. I have a friend who does. She's a folk art painter, and she loves them. She does incredible work. I was saying, if you're going to use neons in your painting, there's nothing wrong with that. I do them all. You guys know I do it all the time. But know that it's not going to photograph well, or I'm sorry, scan well. So if you're going to make a copy of your painting, you're probably going to need to photograph it, because neon colors generally, in my experience, don't reproduce easily when you're trying to reproduce the painting, unless you're doing it by camera. I have all different kinds of brands, but if you made me pick some that were my favorite, those would probably be it. Okay, I do think we need to darken up some shadows here. Let's see. You want to make sure when you're doing something like this, even though you're trying to do an abstracted impression of whatever it is you're painting, that you get the shadows and light in the right place so that it really pops. That's like really important to get the right color in the right place. She doesn't. She doesn't do YouTube. She doesn't do Facebook. She doesn't do any social media at all. Like, if she did, she'd be very popular. She's fabulous, but she doesn't do any of that. So now I'm just adding more interesting layers, more pops of color in places where I think it needs it. Adjusting the shape maybe a little bit where I think it needs it. And mostly I'm working on the foreground. I'm not really working on the background. Yeah, she doesn't even do Facebook like her boyfriend does. So when I've posted something that's gone on in my life, she'll call me and she'll say, hey, Danny just said, you know, that you posted this on Facebook. Is everything okay? She doesn't do Facebook or anything. And yeah, that's probably a smart thing on her part that she doesn't do it. That's pretty good. I'm kind of liking this painting. I don't know about you guys. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out when I started this. So we're going to just kind of adjust our shadows here a little bit. Again, this is a clay tool. And sometimes, as I was saying when I first got started this morning, sometimes when I want to really do something that's, you know, abstracted and, you know, really shows that I've really let go of control, which any of you who have anxiety disorder know that that's really hard to do. I'll even paint left-handed, and that's how the left-handed girls started. Because I'm right-handed, I have no control with the left hand. And painting with unusual tools like this weird clay brush thing, they also really, for me, they help me really let go of control. Now it's just about fine-tuning the picture. This is a canvas. It's a round canvas. You know, when you have, you know, some extra funds and or things are on sale, you know, at your local store, you know, it's fun to, you know, go out of your way to get something unusual like a round canvas and challenge yourself to create something on the round canvas. It's a lot of fun. And just kind of see what you can do. Yeah, you know, when I have fresh fruit in the house that's really good looking, I will actually, before anybody eats it, I'll stop and take photographs of it to use later for something like this. So, you know, and still lives are a lot less intimidating to try than like a face, because it's just fruit. And for some reason, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's kind of less scary to mess up an orange than it is somebody's face. Well, for me, I'm not necessarily great at it, but I also have a loss of use of my left hand and arm since surgery. The surgery for my rotator cuff, of course, did a great job eliminating the pain, and I don't have pain anymore, and I got back some range of motion, but I have some partial numbness in that hand. And for me, it kind of started out as kind of therapy to see. There's a blob of orange paint where I don't want it, so let's get rid of that before it dries completely. So for me, it sort of became sort of a kind of a self-therapy to, you know, try to improve things with that hand. I don't know that I've had any success, but, you know, except in my own mind. I don't know. So if you don't have one of these scrapey tools, you could definitely just use, you know, a gift card, cut a gift card up. Dollar Tree always has like frosting scrapers. They have big red ones. Um, and you could get a couple of those and cut one of them up. It does look like a spoolie, doesn't it? It's a double-ended brush. This is by Lowell Cornell. I'm pretty sure that it is a clay tool, but it might be from the fine art aisle. It came in a pack with a couple of other things, and I bought it because of this thing, which I love. And at some point, I'm going to just get this so gnarly, I'm going to have to go buy another one, but it's fabulous. I love it. So now at this point, we're just fine tuning the painting, and I'm just looking at the way it looks on camera. It's better. This is not right over here. Now I'm just looking at the shapes. We're just looking at the shapes, where they should be, how they look in the inspiration photo. What is it I'm always telling my students? Draw what you see or paint what you see, not what you think you see. Just look at the shapes. Don't paint something that's not really there. And if you're trying to do abstract, you really don't want to paint it even if you can see that it's there. Just put the right color in the right place. It is very stiff, and it does remind me of a large, oversized mascara wand. You're not wrong. That's exactly what it seems like. It's very stiff and bristly. I'm just looking at where the light and dark shapes are in the inspiration photo. Adjusting things as I need to. Yeah, I do think it's a clay tool. I do think it's a clay tool, and I don't remember if it was in the craft paint aisle or if it was in the fine art aisle, but I do think it's a clay tool. I used to do stuff with polymer clay, and I do think it was from those days. Oh, see, well then you should. The only real trick to this is knowing when to stop when you know, before you put too many details in. Tomorrow is Tuesday, Heather. First of all, you're a day ahead of yourself. And we will be doing another still life. I don't know if we're going to be doing these pears in watercolor or if we're going to do something else. I printed out a few still life paintings, but we will do a still life. I want to use the muted Daniel Smith palette I just created, so we will be using that, and we'll be creating some kind of still life with that. You're so funny, Heather. Though tomorrow is Tuesday, though, honey. It's all right. You know, I'm the queen of screwing up, so no worries. I do. I think it's done. I'm not wanting to add anything else to it. I think it's done. What do you all think? I love the way it turned out, I have to tell you. And I love this thing. I don't know if it was Corey who sent it to me or if it was my friend Cindy Utter. I don't remember which one of you sent it to me, but this little thing is fabulous. No, Heidi, today's Monday. Yeah, I do too. I love it. So I'll put the colors up in the description as soon as I can. And just go out and, you know, paint and have some fun. I do think what we're going to do here is we're going to take the baby white and let's put some of these colors on the edges that we have out here. I use up some of this wet paint. You don't have to like try to necessarily like match what's going on the front of the canvas, but it's nice if you use the same colors. Like I just usually take my baby wipe or a sponge brush and whatever leftover paint colors I have on the palette from creating the painting are what I use on the edge. Before I do anything else with the leftover paint, I usually do this. And in the case of something like this, I try to just dab them on. And mostly I'm just sticking with the whites and the blues and the Payne's gray. Because see, the fruit's in the middle of the canvas, and those colors aren't out here at the edge. So. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. It might have been Cindy, because I got a package from Cindy Utter recently too. But I love that little thing. All right, see you later, Eve. I'm glad that today stream worked out. I'm glad we figured out the microphone thing, because holy cow, that was annoying for you guys, I'm sure. I didn't hear it. I've got the sound turned off on the iPad, but now I know now I know to turn the microphone on the camera. All right, that's it for today. That I think it's Paynes, but I love it too. It's my favorite dark shadow color. I love it. It's interesting. It's, you know, more interesting than just black. So I love it for that. I also like to mix my dark shadow colors from, you know, colors opposite each other on the color wheel. You'll get something more interesting than just black. That's something I learned from Pauline Agnew. All right, that's it for today. Don't forget the most important thing. It's down. Go out and have a great day. Do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. And, you know, if you want to buy copies of any of my work, original artwork, my book, or anything else, go shop over in the Etsy shop. I have lots of canvases that need to get listed. They haven't been listed yet because we're switching out equipment. So yeah. See, and this made me hungry. I need to eat some lunch now. This has made me hungry. I'm gonna be good though. I'm gonna have a vegetable noodle bowl thing. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later. I will be back live on Wednesday with Watercolor Wednesday. We'll be doing another still life, and I don't know if we're going to do the parent orange again or if we're going to do something else. We will be using the muted palette that I just put together though. All right, that's it. Have a great day. I'll talk to you all later. Bye guys.